All right. In the meantime, Jackson State's Army ROTC will conduct its commissioning ceremony this afternoon, and 4 cadets will be honored with a special appearance by United States Lieutenant General, I want to say that right, Lieutenant General Bruce T. Crawford, and he joins us now this morning. We're so happy and honored to have Lieutenant General here this morning. Good morning, sir.
All right, thank you. It's very nice to be here. It's been my first trip to the great state of Mississippi.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and where are you from?
I'm from Columbia, South Carolina, graduate of South Carolina State. It was college when I graduated from there, but South Carolina State University now.
Is that right? Yes, sir. And you're here for the special ceremony this evening?
Yes, I'm here to commission 4 cadets and welcome them into the United States Army. Spend quite a bit of time investing, and so this is an opportunity to welcome them, to talk to their families, and talk about their commitment, to thank them for their commitment, but to welcome them and give them an opportunity to be the next greatest generation of leaders.
Wow. What are they facing?
A couple things. One is opportunity. And so very few jobs take a young 22-year-old, like we do with our commission officers, and day one on the job, it's highly likely they'll supervise anywhere from 20 to 30 soldiers. They will have responsibilities for not only training those soldiers, but responsibilities for taking care of their families.
Yes,
it's highly likely on day one that they'll be responsible for up to $15 to $20 million worth of equipment.
Wow.
To put that equipment into operation in a variety of different career fields that we have in the United States Army. So that's a lot of responsibility,
yes, sir.
but it's tremendous opportunity and leadership training they'll get as soldiers in the Army.
Wow, that is fantastic. You know, what you guys do is fantastic. I don't think I could ever do it. Well, I know I could ever. You have to be a special person to do that.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into the military and be in the service?
Well, I was actually, so it's also tied to why I'm here at Jackson State. As a young high school student, let's just say that I had a lot of unrealized potential back then. But I'd been told by my guidance counselor not to go to college, that I wasn't college material. I'd come from a single-parent household in Columbia, South Carolina, and not the best of neighborhoods back then. And again, I wasn't the best student, but I also wasn't the worst. So there was an instructor that was actually at the school. He had been watching me since I'd been in the 8th grade. And he asked me my senior year, what are you going to do? And I said well, I'm going to get a job. I'm the oldest of 4 kids, single-parent household, and one day I would like to see one of my siblings behind me go to college. And he said, I'm going to call your mom. And so he calls my mom, and not only does he get me into South Carolina State, because he was working on his PhD at the time, but the bottom line is the gentleman that's responsible for me being a 3-star general, for me getting into college, for me getting into ROTC, for me getting an engineering degree from South Carolina State is a graduate, 1970, of Jackson State University, Dr. Clarence Hill. And so that's I owe a debt of gratitude to Jackson State.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, you stuck it out. When I first came to Jackson State, I signed up for ROTC.
Yeah.
They had us running all around Jackson. I said, man, forget this. So I couldn't do it at all.
Yeah. Fitness, mental, spiritual, and physical fitness.
Yes, sir.
Is a big part of being a soldier, because we represent the American people. We represent you. And at all times, we want to make sure that our soldiers are ready. And a big part of readiness, as you have conversations about the Army, you'll hear from our Secretary of the Army that it's about readiness, and that includes the individual soldier, and increasing the lethality of the soldier, of which fitness is a part of that. It's about modernizing the Army to make sure that 10 years from now, that we have equipped the soldier with the very best that our commercial and defense industry partners have to offer. And then it's about reform, policies and things of that nature to make sure that our Army is ready in the future. So fitness is a real big part of that. And our soldiers take pride. You see them walking a little taller once they've come into the Army, because they know that their family is very proud of them. But they also, in some cases, like it was for me, for the first time in your life, you're a part of something bigger than yourself. And so our soldiers take a lot of pride in that.
Yes, sir. And I know that the cadets would be thrilled to have you there today, man. We really appreciate it. We're honored to have you here this morning.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know, this is, again, it's an honor for me. As a matter of fact, I sent Dr. Hill a note just a couple of minutes ago, and he responded, and I was very happy that I was here at Jackson State.
Yes, sir. And that's your first time at Jackson State?
It's my first time at Jackson State. Again, I make it my business to get back out into a lot of the ROTC programs for a variety of reasons, but I want to make sure that those families, when they utter those 73 words today, which is the oath of office that they will take, I want to make sure that they understand the true meaning of it and the importance that the United States Army actually puts on bringing them, welcoming them into the ranks of what is year in and year out the most trusted profession on earth, and that's the profession of arms and our soldiers. I tell them, if you don't believe it, put your uniform on and go to an airport, and you will see our citizens coming up to them, you know, breaking their arm to shake their hand and say thank you for your service. And so what I tell our youngsters is never take that for granted.
That's our next guest.
Right.
Pam Comfort. She doesn't know how to put her phone on mute.
Okay.
Well,
I'm in the technology business,
yes,
so I fully understand.
Okay, she doesn't understand that. But is there anything else you'd like to add this morning? I'm not going to mention. I mean, you have a lot of information. You found out a lot of information on me. How did you do that? Just that quick?
Just that quick. Hey, you go out to the old information superhighway.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's out there. I mean, technology, and so ultimately we're still in the people business. The Army is the third largest of any kind organization in the world. And so technology is very important to us, and leveraging the investments of commercial and defense industry to deliver that technology is important to us. But ultimately, we're still in the people business.
Yes,
so we spend a lot of time doing things like what we're going to do today, which is welcoming them into the profession, but also getting out, talking to the American people about the things that the Army's doing to make sure that they understand at all times we represent them.
Yes, sir.
All right, and so the job that I do is information technology as a chief information officer of this third largest organization in the world, is the planning, the strategy, the policy, and the governance of information technology across the globe for 1.18 million soldiers. Regardless of whether they're in a building, or they're in a helicopter, or they're in a tank, or they're just walking around with their device that we provide them. My office does the oversight and policy and strategy for delivering that capability.
Is that right? So you're based out of Washington?
I'm based in the Pentagon.
Wow.
Yes. As a matter of fact, my wife and I live there in D.C. I've got a young captain. My son, my oldest son, is a captain, United States Army, stationed in Georgia. And my youngest is a computer science and information systems student in West Virginia.
Were you in the Pentagon when the 9/11?
I was actually in the Pentagon on 9/11. As a matter of fact, we just had the recent recognition ceremony. So this was, kind of a day that you'll never forget. But I was physically in the Pentagon on 9/11.
Is that
and
right?
that's what I tell people, so there was a new normal, after 9/11. And, the nation was dealt a terrible blow. And since that time, what you've seen is a renewed vigor, a renewed emphasis from the services to make sure that we are postured, to make sure that we are resourced, to ensure that that never happens to this great nation again.
Wow.
And so we take that very seriously.
Well, Lieutenant General, we're so glad that you're safe. We're glad what you do for this country. Anything else you'd like to add this morning?
No, we're again, from members, elected officials to our leadership in the Army. What we get is a commitment from them, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we're living up to those ideals and those 72 words that many of you, if you have the opportunity to be there for the commissioning ceremony, you'll hear those young forward commissionees utter. So very proud to be a soldier, 32 years. Very proud of the support and that we get from the American people. And again, back to why I'm here today is to send a powerful message that the United States Army is welcoming these 4 new commissionees with open arms into becoming the next greatest generation of leaders. And so look forward to today's ceremony. I'm also talking to engineering and computer science students, so I'm pretty excited about that.
You have a busy day today. Well, we really appreciate you stopping by, giving us some of your time. Thank you so much.
Right.
And again, we are so happy for what you do for us, keeping us safe. We really are.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. All right.
All right, we're back.